Hello, all my tubular friends. It's Vegematic here. Just got to weigh in on what's been going on from my perspective and looking at things and seeing too much. Seeing how controlled everything is and how difficult it's going to be for humanity to extricate itself from the corporatocracy that seeks to dominate and enslave all of us. Now, so many of us were excited so much by Bernie. I mean, I followed Bernie years ago, and I know the man is that rarest of breed. Somebody who tells the truth and who is honest and who helps his constituents. And as I hear calls for him to toe the party line and support Hillary, who undoubtedly has gotten the nomination by fraud as far as I am concerned, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist, you can call me a sore loser. Those talking points are expired on the web, by the way. Nobody believes them, just like nobody believes mainstream media anymore, other than technologically illiterate fools. The manipulation is in full swing. And this is my take on what's going on. Donald Trump, why do you think he is able to get away with the insane things he says, and why the media covers him and his every word? Why? It makes no sense, because really, had the media ignored this strange man in a saner time, everybody would have had a good laugh. So my theory is that Donald Trump was set up to install Hillary, and that the Democratic and Republican parties are actually merging into one corporatocracy that is going to enslave humanity. Oh, perhaps I'm paranoid, perhaps I'm delusional. I'm not a young man. I'm 59 years old. And throughout that 59 years of my life, I have watched the net slowly, gradually being tightened around average people, around the working class, now around the middle class. I have seen the disintegration of media into a propaganda arm that bears no resemblance to what news used to be. They learned a good lesson during Vietnam when the news media showed people with getting their heads blown off, people dying, the bloody, horrible realities of war. It's one party. It's the plutocratic party. And you better toe the damn globalist corporatocracy line, or you're going to be in trouble. Bernie, they thought he was a joke. They didn't realize that millions and millions of people, not just in the United States, but around the entire world, could see that this was perhaps a solution to America's terrible, terrible situation. I've always loved the USA. I live in Canada. When I was 19 years old, I hitchhiked from coast to coast to coast all over America. And one thing I learned was that the people were amazing. The people were so good to me, decent, friendly, wonderful. But gradually I saw the net encircle that nation to the point where I will not cross the border and visit America, though I love it and have many friends down there. It's too crazy. It's the center of empire, and it's the center of an empire that is crumbling. A democracy that has become a complete joke, a parody of itself, of what it used to be. And why? All because most people weren't paying attention. But many of us are thinking the same thing. We need to stop this shit. You look at people that deny global warming, and you look at the outrageous floods that are happening everywhere, except where I live, which is a particularly nasty drought at the moment. You see what's happening to the climate. Every single year is hotter and hotter. People don't have 4 or 8 years to turn things around anymore. That luxury disappeared about 40 years ago. It's out of control. Global warming is out of control. The sea ice is melting, in spite of what buffoons and idiots like Donald Trump or Alex Jones say. So do you want the poison to come from the left or the poison to come from the right? It's still poison. It can come at you in the form of a Donald Trump, instant fascism, or subtle fascism under Hillary Clinton. Bernie provided a way out for America. Bernie thought he could play by the rules. Bernie thought that he could be the gentleman he's always been. And people would see it. But I think all of us underestimated the depth of depravity arrayed against him by the Clinton machine, the corrupt, corporate Clinton machine. Trump's just there to scare people, so that when Hillary is installed, you won't notice, and everybody's going to go, isn't this wonderful? The first woman ever elected president. It might have been wonderful in a democracy, but to my eye, Hillary Clinton resembles no one so much as Margaret Thatcher. You get an idea of what this woman is all about when she was at Nancy Reagan's funeral and praising her as an AIDS activist. What a disgusting revision of history. Tell people that haven't lived through it. Oh yes, you're doing that quite effectively, right? Rewriting history. Some people remember. Old men like myself remember. We've seen it. We've seen it coming for years. And when I see those of my generation actually getting behind the corporatocracy, because it's easy. It's easy. Change is hard. Making things better is hard. And what the hell do we care? I'm 59 years old. I got what, maybe 10, 15 years? These young people, these millennials, they've got their whole life ahead of them. They don't have 4 or 8 years to wait for society to come around, which it inevitably will, unless we're destroyed by the fascism or destroyed by the climate change. Either way, Bernie is the way out. Please, people, use your head, do some research, understand the propaganda channels that are arrayed against you knowing things. And for God's sakes, people, above all, feel the burn. Stop the corporate ripoff of the election, of democracy, of the climate, of humanity itself. Feel the burn. Godspeed, Bernie Sanders.